All right, Triana, we did it. Little green light is on. We're recording. Welcome to a new episode of Moon, Myth, and Magic, where Triana and I are going to entertain you with stories about this particular moon and offer some simple practices that can help you feel more focused and have it be easier to move through your day-to-day life with a greater sense of lightness and ease and hope. That's the intention. And today's super full moon is in the sign of Taurus. And Triana, why don't you tell us a little bit about whatever you're in the mood to share about the magic of this Taurus full moon?
Well, this full moon, it's a super moon again, meaning it's very close to the Earth, is occurring in the late degrees of Taurus. And Taurus is the bull. It's a fixed sign, meaning it doesn't make changes easily. And that's powerful in itself. But this full moon is going to be lined up with the planet Uranus. And it's also going to be in a very harmonious aspect with the planet Pluto, which is in Capricorn. So we're talking about all earth signs here. But the moon being lined up with Uranus in the same sign is extremely powerful because that brings surprises. And being trine to Pluto, trine is that harmonious aspect, means that the energies of both of those planets, which are extremely powerful, is going to get you unstuck where you've been stuck. So that pretty much emotionally means if you've been stuck somewhere emotionally, if you've been really, really sad, if you've been really, really on a high, if you've been somewhere that you've been for a long period of time and you want to change that, it'll change for you. You won't have to do a thing at this full moon because the moon rules our emotions. And Taurus can dig its heels in and not move if it doesn't want to. But with Uranus there, right at the same degree of the full moon, it will move because it won't have a choice. So that's how this full moon is going to act on us.
Well, and it's interesting because now I understand why these cards and things that I pulled, why it makes sense. So I decided to go back to the new moon, where we were in the last video, we were setting our intentions for the Scorpio new moon going forward. And here was this card. And our guidance was go deeper. So now when I'm listening to what you're saying, Triana, about all of these things that are coming up in any area where you might have been stuck, that there's going to be a flow. It's like, I think of that turning on like a hose or something. It's like going to start, there's going to be movement, it sounds like, where you're not having to be that and protected. Because coincidentally, the full moon in Taurus, the sign is detoxify. It just seems that plays off of really well what you were saying. And when when you hear about all these changes that are coming up, and oftentimes, changes can make us nervous or unsure. I pulled a card for sort of a theme. Here's the card I chose. See if I can read it. Today I choose faith over fear. I stand tall in my trust in the divine. And this is from our guardian angels. And this is from a deck from Radleigh Valentine's new deck. Angel affirmation cards. We are messengers from Source whose entire purpose is to make you feel safe. Trust that you are adored and protected in all ways. Doesn't that just feel good? Trust that you're adored and protected in all ways. So my thought is having that is sort of a guideline. And then when this full moon comes, it feels like having a safe container for these changes feels more comforting, knowing you're supported in the transition.
Exactly. And the effect of a full moon is felt 3 days before and 3 days after. So that's something to be aware of as well.
Oh, that's such a good reminder. Felt 3 days before, so it's that week. Felt 3 days before and 3 days after.
Right.
I got notes galore. It's like, I love these. I'm always learning. It's just so fun the way we do this. This is so cool. Well, so we have the idea of what's going on with Taurus. In your mind, like you were saying, that it's a fixed sign. So, for example, which are the fixed signs that might feel this moon?
The fixed signs will definitely feel this full moon. The fixed signs are Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius. And all four will feel this full moon in different ways. But since the moon is in a fixed sign, those four signs will feel it the most. And also the ones that will feel it will be the earth signs, which are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn.
Mm-hmm. And what I'll do is I'll pull cards for each of those. What I was thinking, so now we know a little bit about the flavor of this moon, which fixed signs are affected, and the earth signs that are affected. How about the mythology piece? Anything in mythology to share about this moon?
Yeah, where the moon is the ruler of our emotions. The moon is ruled by Cancer, and Cancer the crab, which is a constellation, not directly something from mythology, but Uranus and Pluto are both from Greek mythology. Uranus being the sky god, the basically depicting the universe, who mated with Gaia, the earth, to create humans and all of everything on the earth, all the animals and the trees and rivers, oceans, everything. And then Pluto in Greek mythology was Hades, the ruler of the underworld. And so Pluto deals with the unconscious and the collective, the subconscious and the collective unconscious, and death as well, and the afterlife. So where Pluto is so powerful, it's out there, it's the outer planet, but it still lives within us as parts that we are not aware of, that do come to the surface and surprise us, really. And with Uranus in play, just think in terms of Uranus coming to Earth and bringing up what Pluto is hiding, and it will come through the full moon, if that makes sense, come through our emotions. That's how I'm seeing this. Taurus, the bull, is also another another constellation with its mythology primarily from Egypt, as Hathor, the goddess, who I don't know a whole lot about, but there is a goddess who had a bull's head, and she was that's what Taurus, the Taurus, the bull, was fashioned after, but I'm not real familiar with all of the Egyptian gods, but I know that that's what Taurus is related to.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, and then, we have, I just go back to Scorpio, the card that says, what was leading us in earlier in November is this idea of going deeper. So we've been processing a lot. I mean, on the world stage in the last 2 weeks, much has been changing very, very quickly. And so when the detoxify card comes up for the full moon, what I like about this, what I really see is with a full moon, it's like the flashlight in the sky. Hi, Midnight.
He's helping us.
He's helping, absolutely. But what I love is that whatever is coming up, we're going to be able to see it from the light of this moon. It's like it's being lighted. The path is being lit for us to see.
Exactly.
So that's, one of the things about a full moon that I think is so great. And then, and we're reminded of choosing, faith over fear. So let's see. When I was just putting some notes together about the Taurus full moon, November 5th, super full moon on the 15th, one of the things that was coming up was the idea it was a break from the past, like you were talking about. And when I think of full moons, in just the study of moons and moonology that I do, it's about forgiveness. And to me, it's that willingness to forgive. And I think this full moon is going to help bring things to light for forgiveness. And the idea that forgiving ourselves is more important than forgiving anyone else, because we carry that within us. And in that letting go, it allows us to create a new future. And a part that really I thought was pretty interesting is to remember that every 7 years, your entire body regenerates itself. So if
right.
you're processing something that's more than 7 years old, it was hidden more than 7 years ago, the best news in the world, you're no longer that person. You're not even that person today who you were when that situation came up. So with this moon and this light, we can air that. It's going to come up. It'll be easier for us to clear that. And then I started to think about with elections and just emotional trauma, physical trauma, whatever sorts of things we're dealing with, I thought it might be helpful to have like a mudra or mantra or something to get us feeling centered and peaceful. That's simple and practice and takes moments, not minutes to do. So one of the key things I think with the light of this full moon, until we have 2 weeks later, December 1st is when we have the next new moon, is look at how meditation can support us. And it's one of the easiest ways to regulate our emotions is through meditation. So, just ask yourself, can I commit to pausing for a few moments or a few minutes every day? And with whatever is going to be coming up from the light of the full moon, here's something that I think could be helpful. And this came to me in meditation, and I just decided I'll share it. So you're going to use your hands. So it's thumb and index, thumb and middle, or pointer, middle, ring, and pinky. Excellent. Both hands. Index, middle, ring, pinky. So when our mind starts spinning, or we're having trouble with emotions, with thinking or feeling, perhaps we're overwhelmed, whatever it is. And we just might go, I'd really love a breath of fresh air right now. I'm just feeling this is like just too much. You can try this. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this time, close your eyes, count out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just put your hands on your heart for a moment and take a nice, slow, easy breath. We're just turning our attention inward for a moment and notice, how do you feel? And this to me is a simple way with this full moon is going to be lighting up a lot on our path. And maybe we're not sure which way we want our steps to go. And in order to have us feel that we're actually living the practice of choosing faith over fear, my thought is first be connected. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that practice, using a meditation where you get a mudra and a mantra, mudra, la 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 la, mantra, you put them together and you're using multiple parts of your using your physical and mental abilities and that tactile quality. And so you're bringing harmony and alignment to your nervous system. So Triana, did you notice any change in how you were feeling when you did that?
Oh yeah, and what I find really interesting is that I do that a lot, just not knowing why. I just start doing that with my fingers unconsciously, and then I realize
Oh,
doing it again. But I didn't do the hands over my heart and breathing part of it. But it really gives me something to focus on.
yeah.
And I can practically feel everything just kind of come in and settle.
Isn't that the best? I am so glad because that's what I was hoping would be the experience. It works that way for me. And I just remember you saying, I mean, even when we were scheduling this is a really powerful full moon. And
Yes,
there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of combustion, a lot going on, which is easier for people to feel scattered than present.
right.
It's either easier to tune out than tune in. And
I think so. I'm sorry. I think also that a visualization of how this energy will work is if you picture the connection between Uranus and Pluto, which is already going on anyway, this aspect between them, it's very, very, very strong. So picture this
connection.
this beam of energy that is just buzzing away, and the moon coming in and intercepting that, and that energy focuses through the moon and bam, right at you. That's how this moon will work.
And my thought with bam right at you is 1, 2, 3,
Exactly.
4. It will help you like regroup, come back to center. And what I find is that you can just do this anytime. But for me, when I close my eyes, it's so much stronger.
Yes.
But, start with your eyes open and, practice this so you tactily feel this. I've had friends with arthritis that said, oh my gosh, Joan, I can't tell you how this is helping my arthritis. just these simple practices, and then close your eyes. And if you end with your hands on your heart, that just gives you a sense of,
And another way to harness this full moon energy for people that are disturbed by the changes that we've just experienced last week, this would be a great time to get a drumming circle together on the night of the full moon, to get together and light some candles, meditate, do the mantra together, but to gather with like-minded others to do something inward together with the conviction of peace and of calmness, with that resolve to project outward. That's one way of harnessing.
embodying. It's like that embodiment.
Exactly.
So let's do readings. So I want to do a reading now for the fixed sign. Let me just think of all the fixed signs, and then we're going to do a reading for the 4 fixed signs: Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius. And then we're going to do a reading for the 3 earth signs: Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And we'll see the story the cards have to, what gets woven together. Okay, so Taurus, skunk spirit, know your worth. Gosh, whenever I think of my Taurus friends, they're the money guys who are the king and queen of the spreadsheet. I love my Taurus friends for that.
Taurus rules abundance.
It sure does. It sure does. Scorpio, chameleon, act as if. Leos, of course there's going to be a horse, you know it. Freedom is yours.
Excellent.
Aquarius, of course it's an owl.
Yeah. Look at you, Joan.
Oh man. You see clearly now.
Wow.
Yeah. So just for the fixed signs, so the story of, how I always like to do it, I always like to read the cards in the directions they came. And that kind of gives me, it's like, okay, this grounds it. And then I like to see what's the movement I can get for it. So this is for this full moon. And when her light is bright on Friday, like an owl, what I absolutely love is owls have exquisite vision in the dark. They fly at night. And so with that night seer, that night wisdom, think the owl is the night eagle. And you see clearly now. So with the light of that full moon, Aquarius sees clearly. And Leos know that freedom is theirs. And Scorpios are like, got it, I'm acting as if. They're all in. And Taurus goes, and we know our worth. Oh, that's rich. Know your worth, act as if, freedom is yours, you see clearly now. Now let's go into the earth signs. So for Taurus, bring your ideas to life. What's helpful for Virgo? What's going to be lit up? giraffe spirit. See the big picture. And for Capricorn, lion. Be generous of spirit. So for the earth signs, how this Taurus full moon is affecting them, well, it's time to bring your ideas to life, look at the big picture, and be generous of spirit. So when we're generous of spirit and we have the courage of a lion, we can see the big, we have long necks, we're like giraffes, we can see the big picture. And then we're like the eel in the water, so we can bring our ideas to life. Sexy. I love this reading. How do you feel we're doing on it, Triana?
I'm loving it.
You know, because, and the moon, she's doing her part. She's lighting this up for us to see it. So I'm just coming up with cards. Oh, Triana, this is an idea, if this feels right for you. Remember how we said what we wanted to do was that if anybody ever commented, you know, and wanted to come on or wanted a card reading or wanted us to pull a card for them or whatever, one of your good friends responded to our last call, and I wish I remember what he said, but it was very, very sweet. And he appreciated the way we were sharing and presenting the podcast. And I thought, maybe we should pull a card for him.
Oh, yeah, that's my friend Nigel. Hey, Nigel, if you see this one. Yeah, he's my dear that I met in the UK about, gosh, 30 years ago, I guess, who now lives in France. And he did leave a really sweet comment. And he's a Leo with a Sagittarius rising. Opposite of me, I'm Sagittarius with a Leo rising. And anyway, he's just a darling. Let's pull a card, a Leo card for Nigel.
We got to have it read.
Okay.
Surrender now.
Ooh.
That is a powerful one, you know. So I think of Leo, you know, Leo's a fire sign and Sag fire. I mean, we're playing with fire here. And this gorgeous moth, I mean, she's just beautiful. And surrender now. So what's happening is, I think, with the light of the full moon, that it's, you know, I think of that, you know, we're just sort of, when we kind of go with it, I think more is cleared.
And he's good at that. He's always been like a surrender to the flame kind of person. Very spiritual, very open to change and to we've both witnessed and experienced together some incredible phenomena that we couldn't explain and just went with it. It was amazing back then.
And you know how awesome this is to me, honoring your partnership, and that when the two of you get together, there's a surrender that happens and magic is manifested.
Oh yeah.
And so through this, here you go again. Magic is happening. Voila. Well, I think we did it. Do you have anything else that you want to say?
No, I feel good. I feel that we've covered pretty much everything.
Yeah. Okay, now let me see what else I wrote down on here. Okay. So for if you want information on how to contact Triana, you can just, I have it all written right down below. And for me as well. And if you enjoyed spending time with us today, take 2 seconds and like and subscribe below, and you'll know when the next one's coming. I think, Triana, did you say we're going to post these usually like 2 days before the new and the full moon is when these are, we'll put these, I'll put these up.
Yeah, I think so. And also I do private readings if anybody wants to get a hold of me to have their chart read.
Yep, and I have all that contact info down there. And if you find that you like the way these readings are going, I'm going to start a new moon circle. Let's see, for the first new moon, I'm going to do both new moons in December. The first, and I think the second one is the 30th. And I'll have my email address down there. And if that's something you want to do, we're just meeting with a group of friends and we're just going to do readings and share about the practice of the new moon and what the magic of that particular energy is. If that's something you like to do, there's going to be a Zoom practice for that. So, voila, we are complete. And you anything else you want to add?
I wish everybody a very happy and prosperous and successful full moon.
Yes, I thought, where's a glass of champagne? I would say, cheers, I'll drink to that. Or sip a cup of tea, whatever happens to be your flavor. So thank you, everybody. And we wish you all the best. And we'll see you for, gosh, I think is it the Sagittarius new moon?
Yes.
Yeah, wow, it's already, wow. So we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye for now.
Bye.